ever told yourself, I'm nothing special upstairs, stick around. The sharpest minds I know quietly assume they're ordinary. Call it the reverse of the Dunning-Kruger pattern. And if even 3 of these 10 traits feel familiar, your mind is built differently from the average person's, you just never labeled it that way. Whether this describes you or someone close, you're about to uncover the quiet signatures of extremely high intelligence. Number 7 especially will shift how you see things. These aren't flashy talents that announce themselves. They're subtle operating habits that shape how these people move through the world every day. Trait 1, they speak less and process more. Most treat dialogue like a sprint. First voice claims the prize. Not these people. They wait, while others rush to fill every gap with noise. They stay quiet. Not from hesitation or timidity, but from careful screening. Every phrase gets an internal review before it surfaces. Studies note that highly capable minds rehearse speech privately first, testing the idea for accuracy and usefulness. So when they finally contribute, the impact lands harder. They refuse empty chatter. They speak only when the idea earns the airtime, and they prefer total silence over words they might later wish they could take back. To them, language carries substance, not mere noise. That restraint often makes people underestimate them until the moment they choose to speak and everything shifts. Trait 2, they challenge every claim, including the obvious ones. Bright people can irritate, I'll own that. They refuse to swallow statements whole. Mention the sky looks blue and they dig into the physics behind the color. Call something just the way it is, and they're already hunting the outlier cases and exceptions. Yet the drive isn't contrarian for its own sake. Pure curiosity fuels them. Debate becomes a tool for clarity, never scorekeeping. That constant probing strengthens analytical skill the way exercise builds muscle. It's why they notice cracks in systems everyone else accepts without question. They keep asking, why does this hold? Rules that lack logic feel stifling. Blind compliance registers as mental starvation. Over time, this habit turns them into natural system breakers, people who improve processes simply because they refuse to accept that's how we've always done it. Trait 3, patterns pull their attention like magnets. High-intelligence minds function as relentless connection detectors. Links appear across talk, habits, numbers, and timing, details most overlook entirely. They're solving a hidden puzzle of dots no one else notices. That same wiring lets them forecast results ahead of time with surprising accuracy. No mysticism, no sixth sense, just continuous, automatic scanning of relationships. So they'll remark, I expected exactly that, and leave you wondering how. Pattern radar explains it. The cost can wear them down. Once the web of connections lights up everywhere, switching it off becomes nearly impossible even when rest is desperately needed. What looks like overthinking to others is often just their brain refusing to ignore the signals it keeps detecting. Trait 4, unsolicited problems light them up. Picture the person who spots a clunky routine and instantly thinks, I could streamline that. That's the profile. Inefficiency registers as an itch they must scratch, not from criticism or a need to control, but because it presents as an open puzzle. They design better flows, invent clever workarounds, refine processes others never flagged as broken. And they treat the work as play. Problem-solving equals mental recreation, the cognitive equivalent of a favorite game. Frustration arrives when the elegant fix stays invisible to everyone else. What feels obvious to them remains hidden to the group. Still, they keep solving, because leaving a solvable problem untouched feels harder than the effort of fixing it. Trait 5, their reading follows a different logic. Finishing titles isn't the goal, absorbing thinking systems is. Their shelves look chaotic, philosophy one day, brain science the next, programming after that, distant eras after that. The mix isn't accidental, it's deliberate cross-training for the mind. Mastery of every field isn't the aim. Gathering versatile mental models is. Variety nourishes them more than sheer quantity. They study how separate domains approach reality, then fuse those lenses into fresh insight. A concept from biology might later unlock a business bottleneck. An idea from history might reshape how they handle conflict. They're not collecting facts for trivia, they're collecting tools for thinking. Trait 6, their thinking stacks in layers instead of looping. They overthink, yes, but not in the familiar spinning wheel style. Ordinary overthinking circles the same anxiety day after day. Theirs builds strata. They project every branch of possibility, flag every weakness, run private simulations, then collapse the map to the strongest path. Think multi-move strategy games played entirely inside the skull. Anxiety isn't the driver, deliberate depth is. They aren't trapped in rumination, they're constructing. By the moment of action, they've already stress-tested the plan dozens of times and prepared contingencies for the most likely failures. That preparation is why major choices look effortless from the outside. They've already walked through every failure route in advance and decided which risks are worth taking. Trait 7. Silence feels restorative, not awkward. Most find quiet unsettling. It strands you with your own thoughts, and that can feel threatening. High intelligence people seek it out. Quiet is the workshop where mental clutter gets sorted and ideas get refined. Insights surface there. Those sudden realizations that seem to arrive from nowhere were incubated in stillness. They're not withdrawing from company or dismissing anyone. They're integrating. That private space is protected. In an environment that constantly demands reaction, the capacity to remain still and reflect becomes a decisive advantage. Clarity grows in that quiet. Without regular access to it, their thinking grows noisy and less precise, just like everyone else's. Trait 8. They refuse to soften their own shortcomings. This one stings. They don't polish their mistakes with excuses or convenient narratives. When they fall short, they own the result instead of blaming chance, timing, or external forces. That degree of clear-eyed self-assessment is uncommon. Many of us edit reality to protect comfort. They skip the edit because invisible problems stay unsolved. The same honesty fuels steady growth and keeps the edge sharp. It also explains the occasional intensity others notice. Standards run high, especially the ones aimed inward. Accepting less than capacity feels like a quiet form of self-betrayal. This is why they improve faster than most. They refuse to let ego protect them from the data. Trait 9. Energy, not the clock, sets the schedule. While others divide the day into rigid hourly blocks, these people organize around mental peaks. They know when focus runs strongest. Early hours for demanding work, middle stretch for looser creativity, later slots for lighter duties. Productivity isn't forced, it rides their natural cognitive tide. They've learned a truth many miss: the calendar is endless, yet attention is finite. Guard the high output windows and the rest of the day arranges itself. Forcing deep work into low-energy hours feels wasteful to them. They would rather protect the sharp hours and accept that some tasks simply belong in different parts of the day. Trait 10. They sound ordinary on purpose. Here's the surprise. Genuinely sharp people rarely broadcast intelligence. They camouflage. Complex concepts get translated into plain language anyone can grasp. Emotional insight joins raw processing power. Authentic brilliance isn't measured by impressive vocabulary or clever phrasing. It's measured by how intelligent the listener feels afterward. Fancy terms stay on the shelf, clear ones build bridges. That restraint is the real demonstration of mastery. The goal isn't to impress. The goal is to transfer understanding so cleanly that the other person walks away feeling smarter themselves. If several of these ring true, stop minimizing it. Degrees and trophies aren't required proof. Daily patterns already testify. The useful question isn't how intelligent am I, but how fully am I deploying the mind I already possess? Which of these 10 landed hardest for you? Drop the number below. Let's find out how many quiet, high-capacity minds are out here simply blending in.